Saturday night's main event took place tonight in Atlanta, Georgia at State Farm Arena. This is the same venue that's hosting Evolution tomorrow night. So you had Joe Tessitore and Jesse Ventura open the show. Jesse calling Joe, like Mean Gene. And this was the last we'd see of Jesse. Jesse was not seen for the rest of the night. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, and I think it's pretty obvious. Last Saturday night's main event during the McIntyre Priest cage match, when Priest won by escaping from the door or walking out of the door, Jesse's just shitting all over it, shitting all over the match, shitting all over Priest. Priest is a top babyface. He's a top babyface they want to push for a while. Didn't work well, and there's been other times where he's like ripped on the referees at other Saturday night's main event, so I can see why he was off commentary tonight, and I'm sure he would have just shitted all over that the main event. I don't think it probably wouldn't have been as good with Jesse on commentary, so I understand why, but I did miss him in that way. It's entertaining, sometimes for the wrong reasons, but yeah, we didn't get much Jesse other than the opener. So we had Randy Orton, who was accompanied by Jelly Roll, taking on Drew McIntyre, who was accompanied by Logan Paul to start the show. They renewed their 2020 rivalry. This match was plagued by commercials, as we all knew it would. Logan Paul and Jelly Roll, which were the bigger... To be honest, that's what the match was focused on, the interference between the two celebrities. But they fight on the outside. Jelly Roll shoves down Logan. Drew's mad. He turns and he eats an RKO from Randy. Randy gets the win. Immediately after the match, Logan Paul takes a shot at Randy Orton, hits him with the titanium punch, or whatever they call it, sucker punches him, beats down Randy, and then for the second night in a row, the WWE legend Randy Orton is getting beat up by a celebrity. I guess he's had boxing matches in the past. It's not like Logan Paul is a nobody, a scrub who can't fight. But, I mean, still, it is a celebrity, a YouTuber, an influencer. He's beating up Randy. And then the country music star, Jelly Roll, makes the save once again. He saves Randy Orton twice, 2 nights in a row. Him and Logan go at it. Jelly Roll punches out Logan Paul. And then as Jelly Roll checks on Randy, Drew hits him with a Claymore, taking him out. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis are furious at Drew and Logan. They're yelling at them. Randy checks on Jelly Roll, and then we go backstage from commercial, and we see the two general managers still yelling at Drew and Logan, this time backstage, and it's clear what the direction was going to be. We go to the crowd, and we see Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, who both get positive pops. People like Io, they love Rhea. And Jade Cargill, who's the Queen of the Ring, got a decent ovation too. All of them shown in the crowd. They will be on tomorrow night's show. But Jade was immediately jumped by Naomi, who attacked her. And then you had security separate them as they brawled around the announce table area. They're eventually separated where Naomi's on the announce booth and Jade's in the ring. Then you have Nick Aldis come out, and he announces that there's going to be a special guest referee to keep order in the match, which is a no-holds-barred match. I mean, it would be okay if it was a singles match, but it's a no-holds-barred match, and the special guest referee is none other than Bianca Belair, which makes sense. She's part of it. Naomi attacking Jade. Bianca was her tag partner. Makes sense. I'm just happy they got something for Bianca to do at Evolution. She's still recovering from her finger injury that she had at WrestleMania, but at least they got something for Bianca. She is great. They're not going to do Evolution every year. I'm not sure it's going to be again next year. They might not. So, and Bianca, I don't believe, wrestled at the first Evolution, so it's good for her just to at least have this, at least have a presence on the show, not just showing her in the crowd. She's at least part of the show by being a special guest referee. But I hope she counts with her good hand, not the bad hand. But it's nice to see Bianca back. I'm not sure if she's going to be back, that we're going to see every week, but it's nice to at least see her back for a night. They show Doug Dillinger, who was the former WCW head of security, and he'd walk out with Goldberg for all his matches. He was in the crowd, got a decent pop, actually, and then Diamond Dallas Page, WCW legend, who's here to see Goldberg's last match. He got a big pop in Atlanta. Of course he would. It's DDP. Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, I didn't care. I couldn't take Jimmy seriously. He loses every week on SmackDown. There's interference. Solo got a schoolboy, and then Talatanga gave him leverage. He got the win like that. After the match, to beat down Jimmy, the MFT does. Solo gives him a Samoan spike. Jacob Fatu makes the save. He gets a big pop. Takes out Tongalo and JC Mattel like they're nothing. Faces off with Tala Tonga, sends him over the top rope, and then Jacob hits a suicide dive onto both Tala Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Poses in the ring. It's clear we're getting Jacob in Solo again. Or maybe it's some sort of tag match. I'm not sure. I'm not that into this. Solo sucks. I don't want to see him pushed anymore. We go backstage and we get the return of Kathy Kelly, everyone's favorite journalist, and we can see why, as she's looking absolutely stunning tonight, as she always does. I really miss seeing Kathy. We never get to see her as much anymore. I mean, it was weird. First, Jackie was gone for a while, and now Kathy's gone for a while. I miss seeing them every week, and I'm so happy to see Kathy back. Who doesn't miss Kathy? Both her and Sarah Schreiber from NXT must have had having a contest to see who's dressed better, because both looked absolutely smoking hot tonight. So, yeah, I'm happy to see Kathy there. I'll miss her. Then she was interviewing Randy and Jelly Roll, and yeah, they want Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. Randy's making the challenge. He's pissed off. He's fired up. They announced it later in the show, so yeah, we got the match. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll taking on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Look, I would like to see Randy and Logan. That'd be pretty good, but you know what? It is what it is. It's a celebrity match. I don't mind it that much. I'll just say I didn't like the stuff tonight as much as last night. The SmackDown segment was awesome. This segment, not as good. So in the crowd, we see the Steiner brothers, Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner, both big WCW stars, especially Scott, here to see Goldberg's last match. Then we go to the disaster, the worst thing that's happened to WWE all year, maybe. One of the worst things. Well, besides Travis Scott, this was probably the second worst thing that's happened to WWE all year. So you have Seth Rollins and LA Knight. Here's what happened in the match. Seth's doing a moonsault, like he's doing kind of like a springboard moonsault from the inside. He does it off the ropes, lands on his feet, okay, but his knee buckles. And the announcer says he tweaked his knee. He really buckled it right away. I saw it right away. He's on the ground. That's not good. Some people online thought it's a work. I just had the feeling, no, this looks bad. The ref checks on Seth. Seth's talking to Heyman. He looks concerned. And then they have doctors there. It's bad. Seth gets up. Good for him. He's a trooper. We saw that at WrestleMania 40 last year when he's like using a chair as a crutch because his knee is completely torn or something. And, you know, he makes his big run in the main event. Here he's a trooper. He gets to his feet. He immediately takes a BFT. 1, 2, 3. LA Knight gets the win. Now we're hearing Seth was supposed to actually beat LA Knight in this match because, you know, he's Money in the Bank. He's getting the title. He was probably getting the title before this injury. We don't know how bad it is, but he's probably getting the title, and he's out now, most likely for a while. I think he probably tore his ACL. But Seth, you know, he made the call. They could have just called the match off. He made the call to have LA Knight win. Good for him. LA Knight gets the win now. All respect to Seth Rollins. Yeah, I've been critical sometimes. I think his segments drown out. They go on for too long. They just. I'm not that into his new stable, but you know this fucking sucks. I'm not gonna lie. This is a big blow. We'll see. Maybe I just believe he tore his ACL because he's had so many knee injuries. I mean, it reminds me of when his knee buckled when he had that match with Kane at the house show when he was the champion. He blows his knee out, and then, you know, here's something like this too. I mean, he just lands wrong. That time he was doing a power bomb from the top rope, and when he was supposed to land on Kane was on the top, and Seth is supposed to land on Seth goes from the top to then he lands on his feet in the ring, and you know his knee just buckles. Here it's similar. His knee just buckles, and it sucks. He had the knee injury last year at WrestleMania, as I mentioned. It really sucks. I don't know what's going to happen with Money in the Bank now. I don't know what they're going to do. Best case scenario, he had an injury, but it's not as bad, and he only missed a few months, and he can keep the briefcase. Worst case is he blew his knee out, he tore his ACL, and he's out for like 8-9 months, and yeah, they have to crown a new Money in the Bank. I don't know. Bad situation, guys. That's all I can say. Wish the best for him. They show Blake Monroe and JC Jane in the crowd. Blake pinned JC on NXT Great American Bash tonight. I was a little weird they didn't show Jordynne Grace because she's facing JC tomorrow night, but they wanted to show Blake. She's the bigger star. I get it. But they were in the crowd, and there were some other celebrities. I don't even know who they were, to be honest. They preview Evolution, and then they make the official match for SummerSlam. It's Randy Orton and Jelly Roll taking on Logan Paul and and Drew McIntyre. I said Seth in a tag team match at SummerSlam. So we get our third match set for SummerSlam. Gunther made his entrance next, and then Bill Goldberg, as Gunther always calls him, came out. So when Goldberg does the thing, when he's in the locker room and they tell him it's time, Doug Dillinger, he's the one who told him it's time. He was there. He walked up with Goldberg. Goldberg's son Gage, who plays football, I believe, for Colorado, was out with him. And there were some others. And then Goldberg goes through the backstage area by himself after they're done walking out with him. And then he makes his own entrance. The pyro does the punches and kicks as pyro goes off. Really cool. But I have to say, as Goldberg's making his grand last entrance, there's a lot of aura. It's obvious his knees were bad. It was noticeable. Now, I don't know if they were doing that as part of the match because that played into the role until it happened. But at the same time, they kind of use the real injury and use it as part of the match, which I think makes the most sense. But it was noticeable. But he was super over. Fans were going crazy in Atlanta. Loud Goldberg chants. They were going nuts. And then we get the World Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther defending against Goldberg. So the match starts off. Goldberg no-sells Gunther's chops. Goldberg's hitting the best of Gunther early on. And you can tell they might actually go well. I was thinking it's just going to be one of those sprints. Goldberg hits a couple spears. Jackhammer, Gunther kicks out, sleeper hold, match is over. Happened in the end, but that's not how it started. So Goldberg's getting all the offense in, and then they're on the outside. Goldberg goes for a spear on the outside through the barricade, but he misses, and he just goes crashing. I mean, he hit the barricade like a fucking missile. It looked like he knocked himself out, destroys the barricade, takes himself out, and then we go to a damn commercial, and we missed a lot of the match. I assume it was just Gunther beating him up. Goldberg went so fast, it looks like he just almost knocked himself out, but Gunther beats him up for a while. When we come back from the break, they tell us Gunther was working over the knee, and then he's beating him down. Eventually, Goldberg gets to his feet, and the referee in the match is Charles Robinson, who reffed a lot of Goldberg's matches. They call him Lil Nate, and Goldberg's going for a spear, but Gunther moves out of the way, and Goldberg spears Charles Robinson, takes him out of the match, so the ref is out. Then you had Gunther go back to the knee, and Gunther kept kicking Goldberg in the knee repeatedly in the match. He rips off the knee brace. And the whole story is him working over the knee, and that played into the end. After he rips off the knee brace, he's taunting the crowd, and he confronts Gage, Goldberg's son, in the crowd. He shoves him. Gage jumps over the barricade, tries to go after Gunther. Security immediately stops him. Gunther goes back in the ring, and immediately he takes a spear from Goldberg. Goldberg hits the spear, and then Goldberg hits the jackhammer. And it looks like that's it. Could it be? But Goldberg, immediately after he hits a jackhammer, his knee is still bad, and he can't pin Gunther right away. And it takes a while for a ref to come out, but a ref finally gets in. Goldberg gets the cover. Can't hook the leg, not the classic Goldberg pin. Barely gets on top of him. Gunther kicks out at 2.5. And then Goldberg tries to get up again, but his knee just gives out. It gives out. Gunther puts him in the sleeper hold. Goldberg tries to fight out. He puts up a good fight, but eventually goes out. Gunther retains the World Heavyweight Championship. He left the ring, and he's still the champ. That's how Saturday night's main event appeared to end. Then we go to commercial. I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? It's like 9:57. The match is over. When we come back, there's going to be like 20 seconds, and that's what we got. Technically, it's 40 seconds. We come back in the ring. Gunther's gone. Goldberg's in the ring. And he is with his friends and family, it seems. And they're all surrounding the ring. Michael Cole's in the ring, and he gives the mic to Goldberg to talk. Goldberg apologizes for losing in Atlanta. It's his first loss ever in Atlanta. and he thanks the crowd as the show ends. It was basically a 40-second speech cut short by NBC, and that's the worst part of these Saturday Night's Main Events are these damn commercials. But that was it for Goldberg. He retires, and I'm sure they did stuff after the show where wrestlers probably came out. I heard Cody came out and thanked him and put him over, and I'm sure that he gave a good speech at the end, but that was the last we got to see on TV at least. I was watching on YouTube, but that's all I got, and that's how it ended. So Gunther retains, Goldberg officially retires. He finally gets his retirement match. Didn't get much of a retirement speech, but he did get a long speech at the Hall of Fame several years ago, so he has that. But yeah, I mean, also, this was a huge audience, I'm sure the rating was big, so that's how Saturday Night's Main Event ends, and that is also how Bill Goldberg's career ends.